You're listening to the ReachCast show, your weekly stop for the latest and greatest in the PlanetSide 2 universe and its community.
Welcome, guys. It's April 22nd, and you are listening to episode 30 of the ReachCast show. We are proud members of the Araxis Global Network. I'm your host, Torx. With me this evening are the two gentlemen to my right and left. To my right, Knox.
I'm to your right. Hi.
And my left, the Derringer.
What's up, everybody?
We are brought to you this week by Nanite Ned's Low Deals, and also by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on ReachCastShow.com. Let's see here. This week we played with Imperial Reach, 666 Devil Dogs, Outfit X, Dropping Purple Smoke, and Ghosts of the Revolution. Had a great time with all of them. Can't really think of a bad story. We got a lot in store for you for this show. Game Update 7, as you can imagine. F&O had a special guest on, or I should say co-host this week, and some good emails and a enjoyable call from great people.
Someone.
Dun. Who could it be?
Patch notes.
I'm going to get these mosquitoes in the air and rain down some hellfires on those fools. Oh no! What the f***? I should have listened to the ReachCast patch notes.
Yo, so patch notes. We got some cool new stuff this week. Lots of cool new stuff. But in the depot, there are now two new awesome pistols. If you haven't heard, these things, they're fantastic. The NS-44 Commissioner and the NS-357 Underboss. They got pretty colorful descriptions for them, which I liked. They are big, powerful, and are 6 shooters. It's awesome. The
reload
also
is a trip.
The reload's interesting, yes. But they also have their gold and black counterparts, which are 1,400 station cash and 2,000 station cash for the black and gold, respectively. So can't buy those ones with certs. They're special only.
When you're rolling large like me, though, it's no problem.
Oh man, I'm being told my breathing's an issue. All right. So these new pistols have this statistically identical. New helmets for heavy assault and max also exist. The NCGD Titan 113 helmet, the TR have the Bravo MSH helmet, and the VS have the Protos helmet for the maxes, which those are, I believe, what we've been seeing kind of released on the other classes throughout the last couple months, right?
I don't know. What do they look like? I don't even remember seeing them.
I think they look like the ones that have been coming out in the last week. The Protos is what makes me think that, and the Titan, because it's like the welding mask, and then the thing you were just like obsessively happy about for VS.
Oh, so it's available for the heavy assault now? Okay, well.
The max.
Pause the show. Heavy assault and max, it says.
Alright, there you go.
Pause
Can we pause the show? I gotta go in and buy that right now.
You can buy it.
I gotta go buy that right now.
Well, before I forget, I mean.
Yeah.
Alright.
Hold on, I gotta install a patch. Hold on.
You are killing me.
It sounds like he's really doing it.
I am really doing it. Hold on.
You've got to be kidding me.
Hold on. Here we go. Okay, play. All right.
We've already got 3 beeps this episode.
While I'm loading up my game, we have some new features. There are new weapon stats available, including range, and everything else you need to know about your weapon is now at your fingertips. Want to see how Desert Scrub Camo looks on your Sunderer? There's a preview feature for that now, too. These are just some great new things that they added to the game. I'm pretty excited, actually, about all the new weapon stats that they've put into the game, because you really can see so much additional stuff regarding all the weapons that you use. So I'm glad they put that stuff in the game, in all seriousness. And same thing with being able to see what your camo looks like on something at any given time. I think that's it's a good addition to the game. It was missing, and I'm glad that it's back in the game. All right, now where is this helmet?
All right, so the infantry updates for the patch update 7 or game update 7, jump jet audio has been increased substantially, I would say. You can hear people lifting off, sounds like gunfire now.
I can actually hear myself using it, which I could never do that before, but I play pretty quietly.
Yeah. The grenades are not being thrown directly at the aim point, so their arc has been slightly modified to work with this change. Now they're more exact in how they're being thrown. They're not being hefted over your right arm and then bouncing and killing yourself with them. And tank mines have been increased in size. I would also say this is a substantial size. They are, I would say, 3 times larger than they used to be.
Is it that big? I've heard a lot of people talking
They're
about
huge.
it.
You can't miss them anymore.
You can definitely see them.
So much easier to shoot them when they're in the middle of the road now, too, because they just, boom, they're right in your face. Okay, wait, everybody listen. Here we go. That's the sound of me unlocking the Heavy Assault Protoss helmet.
Wow.
All extra VS damage. So this is a kind of a bigger one. Lock-on rocket launchers can no longer lock on to turrets. So your lock-on weapons aren't going to hit turrets anymore. I think.
And that really doesn't affect anybody too much except for TR. I guess they're all crying.
Oh, the TR are up in arms about it, and honestly, I don't blame them.
Well, considering a lot of their stuff, their Empire-specific launchers lock on.
Can't touch the turrets anymore, which is pretty big.
Yeah. Well, they used to be able to really deal some nasty damage to it with the Empire-specific rocket launcher, like you said, and now it's just not the same.
That could seem to be a real problem, considering it's, completely unusable. Your Empire-specific
renders it useless, while the other two can both still do their same damage that they always did.
Yeah,
correct. That is correct.
I think that's a bit of a problem. We'll just say.
I wonder how difficult it would be for them to recode it in so that just that weapon worked.
I'm gonna guess pretty difficult.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm just thinking.
I was mad when I couldn't lock on anymore with my Annihilator.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never used the lock-ons. I always liked that Decimator ever since I got it.
Last infantry update is fairly substantial. The extra VS damage scaling at range has been removed. So VS minimum damage now matches the damage scaling of the other two factions. Basically, they used to be the situation where the longer distance they would fire, the less damage the projectile would do. Now that is not the case. They scale exactly the same as the TR and NC, but the drop is still not there. So this applies to all VS weapons except for the VS semi-automatic sniper rifles. So,
and I feel like someone heard me complaining about that.
Your complaint was valid. I think whether they heard you or they heard somebody say that is a completely valid concern, considering the imbalance that would cause. So,
and we won't go too deep into this because we actually interviewed Ghost of the Revolution last night, and this was one of the questions that we asked them since they're a Vanu outfit, and they gave some decent answers to this question. So I think this topic. So I think we'll just leave it. You guys will have to stay tuned for this Thursday's show to get good insight to that question. Yeah, well, when you can't make it to the show, that's the problem.
Oh, I was lying in my room on the floor.
Well, next time don't go out drinking.
Yeah, okay. So, weapon-specific changes. We got a bunch of weapon changes, so let's go through those. A lot of max changes, a little bit of a buff to the anti-armor weapons. The most projectile speeds got increased. For weapons, the TR maxes received a damage increase. The TR maxes had their reload times increased. On their normal guns, the VS maxes had their reload times decreased. NC faction had its reload times shortened and damage decreased. And the Mercy...
That's the Falcon, not the faction.
Falcon? Oh, sorry. Yes. Falcon had its reload time shortened and damage decreased. The TR Mercy had the biggest overall nerf. Didn't they... Sorry, I'm going off my head right now, but didn't they... Because the reload time increase sounds like a nerf, but aren't there 4 rounds instead of 2 for the TR now?
That is correct. They did give most of the TR maxes some additional rounds.
Yes. So that anti-armor gun is a little better.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that we're going to see less mercies out on the battlefield.
Oh man, there were people crying about that one too. So, this is my favorite change because I bought the battle rifle on both my TR and NC character, and the Warden, the AMR 66, and then whatever the VS one's called, the VE 33 Eidolon.
Eidolon.
The recoil and accuracy changed to be more effective. Reload times are increased, whatever, because the gun's awesome now, so it doesn't matter. And damage scaling is better. They're fantastic. I put the high velocity on, and the thing has barely any drop on it, and it shoots so far and so accurately. Battle rifles are great now.
Jimmy was saying the same thing during Friday Night Ops.
Yes, they were
basically, I got the gist from him saying if you're not playing with a battle rifle now, you're dumb. he didn't really say that, but that's pretty much what I got.
I don't know that it's that true, because there's definitely been some situations where I don't want it, but they're very good now. If you can aim for the head, you're gonna love the battle rifles, basically. So some other scout rifles got changed as well. That's the AF-18 Stalker for the NC, the SOAS-20 for the TR, and the Artemis for the VS. They had their minimum damage range increased, recoil reduced, and accuracy increased. Magazine size and ammo increased, and the short reload time is reduced. The long reload time is still the same.
Good.
Yes.
It's pretty much a straight up buff across the board for those too, huh?
Yeah, those are the automatic ones, I believe.
Yeah.
And the other scout rifles, the semi-auto ones, being the Shadow for the NC, the HSR-1 for the TR, and the Nix VX31 for the VS. They had their rounds per minute reduced, but their recoil and accuracy loss per shot were increased. The short reload time was changed down to 2 seconds from higher up, and then the long remained the same, just like the other rifles. The damage scale start is damage scale start is now longer, and the damage scale end is also increased further range, so you're getting more damage per your meter distance now, and the magazine and ammo capacity were also increased. And last but not least, the VS VA-39 Spectre and the VS VA-23 Phantom, both sniper rifles, had their projectile velocity increased, their damage scale start decreased, and the minimum damage increased.
I have to say, I commend you, sir, for getting through. I know a lot of that was dry, but you smashed it out.
So,
dry.
Do you know why the Spectre and the Phantom got buffs like they did? Were they that much lower than the TR and NC equivalents?
I honestly can't say. I don't know.
I mean, they must have been in order for only those to have been pulled out and buffed.
Well, you got to think that might be a large part. Well, not large. Might have kind of a tag team effect with the way they did the damage decrease from range. Those two might have had their stats kind of, in line with some of that stuff. If they altered those, it might have really messed up the sniper rifle, so they didn't change them along with it.
Perhaps.
So that's all I can figure, because if it's only VS, I can't imagine it's just a coincidence that got teamed up with that damage at range. So.
Well, let's move on. There were a number of bug fixes, but the one that stood out most to me was that you can no longer get XP for healing an ally damaged by friendly fire. Now, this was clearly a bug, but I know people were exploiting it on my medic, getting XP anytime I could, because who cares how they got damaged? I just want the XP.
I never got XP healing an ally friend hurt by an ally.
How do you know they were hurt by an ally?
Because I healed him and
shot
I got XP.
When he was mowing people down in front of him.
No, I'd just be healing people and rezzing people all the time and not getting XP, and I just figured they were friendly fired.
Oh, well, I was taking advantage of it. I'm gonna get banned now, aren't I?
Yep. See you, buddy.
Last week he plays.
Yeah, I'm out. I guess I'll just end my podcast here, but maybe not. Let's go on to vehicle updates. Well, maybe they won't ban me because they just heard me purchase something live. Right? I mean, I just spent 600 station cash on that helmet.
I need to capture that sound and just play it throughout the show. Cha-ching, 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 over and over again.
Well, there were also some vehicle updates, and really the biggest one was Mag Rider. Mag Rider base strafe acceleration rate was increased. The top speed was increased to 20 kilometers per hour from 15. Now it only takes 2 seconds to reach that max speed, and Mag Riders should no longer slow down as drastically when strafing over small inclines. I have heard nothing but praise for this change. It didn't bring the Mag Riders up to the same level they were prior to the huge Mag Rider nerf of 2013, but it has made them definitely much better. And I've been rolling around in my Mag Rider a little more since Game Update 07, and strafing is much better. It's much smoother. Getting up to speed is much better. I'm not getting stuck on small rocks as I drive around like I was. I'm very happy with the vehicle update to the Mag Rider, and I will be driving my Mag Rider some more.
I wonder when the Vanguard's going to get some changes, because isn't it still the weakest one by all the stats?
It was weakest by... well, I don't think that it is weakest anymore. We're talking about dealing damage. It was weakest originally, but then they all got nerfed back to the same range. Or anybody who was ahead was nerfed down, and they were buffed up a little bit. So I'm under the impression now that all 3 tanks are doing similar damage across the board, and all the changes that were done in the Mag Rider had nothing to do with dealing damage. It was all being able to maneuver and move around. Because I think that they were just pushed a little too far down to make them less maneuverable, not unmaneuverable. And I think that these are all just small increases. They're not bringing them back up to the range that they were prior to the nerf. So, I mean, it's been a couple months since they got nerfed down. So, I'm sure that the folks at Sony have been running. Well, we know they're running statistics on. I mean, we saw Higbee's graphs and everything, so they know exactly what's going on with the Mag Rider compared to the other 2 tanks. So, again, I'm pleased. Playing Vanu, I am always pleased.
Okay. The one of the biggest pieces of the updates from Game Update 7 was the UI updates for the map and other pieces. The strategic communication improvements is what they deem them as. The capture progress is now displayed on the map. You'll see it as kind of a circle that counts down clockwise with a timer in the middle. It's pretty good. It helps at least personally me distinguish the difference. You know, when you're capturing a base, you kind of get a feeling now instead of just, you just a general feel. Oh, it's counting down, but no idea how long. It's good. The ally activity is also displayed on the map now, another huge improvement. So if you're looking at the map and you see enemy, instead of just enemy platoons, I have to be there, but you see multiple ally platoons as well, you know where your allies are at. You're not just moving somewhere that you're not needed.
You end up encountering a friendly Zerg, and you're like, oh, well, this is a waste. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, it's out of all the changes, honestly, it's one of the biggest ones for me. The next one is influence pie charts have been replaced with population percentages. So that's it is what it is. I think it's good. It's a good value of information. I don't have much else to say about that one. Changed the visualization of enemy activity. Enemy activity levels coloring is now a gradient of red instead of spectrum of different colors. Not much to say about that one either.
I like it. I mean, I'd rather see just flat red rather than just the melange of all different colors on your screen.
That's a good word. You are.
I'm a linguist.
Yeah. The disabled generator and spawn display for facilities. So if you're like say a tech lab and you have the gens down, you now shows those down from higher up on the map before you even have to zoom, which is very valuable to me from anywhere on the map. And secondary objective timer display added to HUD indicators. So not much to say about that.
I think overall it's some good stuff.
Overall, the map is easier to understand and more helpful when you're deciding where to deploy.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is perfect for platoon leaders and squad leaders who spend a lot of time in the map. Now they don't need to dig as much for information or send people out into the field to gather information and give it back to them. A lot of this stuff is right on their screen now and accessible directly to them.
So service ribbons can now be earned for capturing and defending bases. That's
I actually got one yesterday.
A natural addition. I think it's good.
I was excited. It's like, boom, you just got one for defending a biolab. And I was like, whoa. Oh, and I figured out, you remember a couple shows ago, I was like, I only killed 9 people, but I got a service ribbon. Apparently they're cumulative.
Oh, so when you log, if you killed 3 and then log off, you only have to kill 7?
You only have to kill 7. So if you go and you actually look at your weapon, it'll tell you how many more you have to go on each weapon now.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
It needs to be static data. That's good.
That's good, because if you crash now on your 9th kill, you're not effed.
Exactly.
So improved item preview. Preview is now full screen. Items can be previewed in multiple classes. That's not much to say. It's good. It's good general UI improvement. Loadout screen improvements. This was a kind of a big one too, for me at least. I'm assuming for everyone else. The locked gear and weapons cannot be viewed and unlocked from the loadout screen. Good.
It's going to increase sales.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Quick camo selects added to class/vehicle screens, allowed for quick select and apply permanent camos to all classes, weapons, and vehicles, no matter which loadout you have loaded for each class. Amazing.
I love where they put it too.
Oh,
it's
it
just
is.
in the
it's
perfect
so awesome.
position as well. You know,
saves
you
so much
easily
time.
See what you have on. Yeah, it's very.
I didn't
well
see
done.
the one that changed all classes at once.
So when you go, you see that little right. Well,
I'm gonna load the game and look.
For everyone in the game.
You can only load the game if you're going to buy something.
For everyone in the game, if you look below, no matter what what character or class you have selected, if you look below, there's a little camo box, and there's a weapon icon next to one, and there's a armor icon next to the other. And when you scroll right or left with that, whatever you select stays across no matter what class you choose. So
man, that's awesome.
It is. It's
awesome.
amazing. It saves you so much time.
I'm going to be buying more camos, I'll tell you that.
I don't see that. I have an odd complaint that goes with this. I have a whole bunch of camos that I got in sets, right? And there's so many to select through. I kind of wish I only had 3. Like I'm honestly happy with just 3, one for each continent at the moment. There's times you could switch it up, but honestly,
well, that's what I'm going to do now. You're absolutely right. I've got the Alpha Squad camo. And I've only got one other camo for Esamir.
Oh,
so I'm going to go out and buy 2 more camos now. One for Indar and one for Amrish, and I'm going to be all set.
Nice. Yeah, it's
okay. I just used it. That's pretty awesome.
Did you buy something?
No, I didn't buy anything. I've purchased much more than you. I don't have to.
It's the
you purchased much more stupidly, is what we actually found out.
So the currently equipped consumable can now be resupplied directly from the main class screen. Another amazing natural improvement. Yeah.
Just something as simple as a little yellow plus sign makes everyone's lives easier.
Yeah, instead of drilling down into the actual item that you want to resupply, there's just a little plus button right next to it on the main screen. Just go boom, 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 and you get them all.
I noticed that one. I was like, oh, thank
God. Yeah,
I know, me too.
It's a natural, just kind of something small, but it's so good. The medals are not displayed in the loadout from the main class screen. Nothing special about this. You look over, you scroll over your weapons, or you see anything else from the main loadout screen, you see the medals that are applied to them at the moment, or medals that you've earned for them. And they've added a class/vehicle serve button to main class screens.
Also awesome.
Also good. Just natural addition. I keep saying natural, but it's true. And item descriptions added to weapon selection screen. So if you take a look at the weapons now, there's a lot more in-depth, detailed information provided.
A little graph that shows the damage fall off. That's fantastic. Generally,
just more valued information for each weapon, if you want to get an idea at looking at them. Last piece for the UI stuff before we move on with the facilities is better weapon stats shown on weapon select screen. And
which we just talked about.
Which we just talked about. I kind of went into the last one and segued and went way overboard with it. But in short, if you selecting weapon and it gives you a more in-depth, detailed information. I mean, there's not much more to it other than that. It's good.
So let's go on to facilities updates.
Mm-hmm.
They increased the facility's secondary objective XP rewards. This is for generators, SCUs, etc. So overload, you're now getting 250 XP. Stabilization, you're getting 250. And killing the object, you're getting 500, which is increased from 100. So these are some nice big incentives to get over there and start taking out those secondary objectives. Now, we also had a hot fix the next day on the 19th. And this first point we're going to go over, some people like it. I think more people hate it. They have standardized the capture times across all bases. Small outposts take 4 minutes, large outposts take 7 minutes, and facilities now take 10 minutes. And this is irregardless of how many people are on the point at a given time. Why don't we just take a minute and discuss this? Because originally, before this server hotfix, they were all standardized to 10 minutes, and it was ridiculous.
Before this, it was all standardized to 10. Woo.
Yeah, and people were like, I'm not standing here for 10 minutes while this caps.
For 500 XP.
Yeah.
I think it makes... I don't even know if that's true. I want to say it kind of makes sense in lieu of the lattice system coming, but even then, I don't know if this really makes sense. I don't personally like it. I think it's it gives you no incentive to keep people on the point, which was the whole point of them setting out the way it was initially.
Yeah, now no one stays on the point.
Which I guess, I guess it makes sense. But
it was 6 people, and usually most bases, by the time you were, most bases, especially the facilities, when you got 6 people on that A point at the amp station or the what's it called, tech plant, you had the base at that point anyways. Very rarely did it come back. So, I mean, why make someone stand there? But at the same time, I don't know.
People are still standing at the bases
10
waiting
minutes,
for the points.
I get 2,000 XP for a 10-minute base. I just feel like it's too long. If there's a big fight, I can go get more than 2,000 XP in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints
Kill
about
people,
this.
wait for them to stop spawning, and then move on. You're gonna get unless you're actively getting XP while that 2,000's waiting. I don't see I think it's just too long. But at the same time, you want the enemy to be able to mount a comeback. But that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
I want to say that they have something coming up that this is preparation for. At the moment, it doesn't make sense to me. This change just doesn't make sense. But
with Lattice, maybe mounting comebacks will become more of a likelihood.
Maybe. I have to imagine they wouldn't make this change for nothing. There's got to be some reason that these guys are making this change. I want to give them that credit. I just don't know what it is at the moment, and I guess we'll just see what happens. It seems completely illogical at the moment why this would be put in the way it is, but we'll see.
I don't know. Well, the next big hot fix on 4/19th, and I don't know if you guys ran into this or not, was regarding Rash New Biolab. Apparently in the game update 07, they broke it so no one could capture the base, could capture any point in Rash New Biolab.
Nice.
So people were just going around Rash New Biolab, and it was kind of annoying. Well, they did fix it so you can capture the actual base inside the Biolab itself now, but as of the 4/19 hotfix, they were still working on the forward spawns outside, which is just kind of amusing. They also fixed in this patch the fact that generator timers were displaying absolutely incorrect values. I think that they were starting at 11,100 minutes to cap. But they were counting down in the correct times.
Someone threw an extra 3 zeros on their milliseconds in the code.
Yeah, basically. And then finally they updated some weapons to match some values that they initially called out in the release, but didn't manage to get on the live servers. And these were all regarding VS Max suits, so the Blue Shift, the Nebula, and the Cosmos all got some updated weapon values as part of the change. It still doesn't make the Blue Shift playable, but hey, we can't get everything, right?
Like we were talking about, you'll hear more about it on the Thursday interview, but I think when you see flamethrowers introduced, you'll see a lot of, more comparable combat between maxes in close quarters, but we'll see. You guys have anything else? We're going to hit community briefing. Nope. All right.
Not unless you want me to pop in game and buy something else.
Buy a battle rifle.
Can be the death of me. All right, community briefing.
Attention, soldiers! Get your butts in here for this week's community briefing.
I'm starting with FNO. Woo! So Maggie's out of town. Anyone who follows her on Twitter knows she's been like South America and fun stuff like that. So they had a special guest on who was Travis Osiris Despain. And he is someone who migrated into the weapons development from level design with Clegg. And he said he has been working on the flamethrowers primarily, so he was very quiet at first. We'll just put it that way. And then Jimmy asked him how he was doing. He's like, I'm taking a biolab. Like, you're supposed to be talking to the people in chat.
Yeah, I couldn't even hear him at the start of the show because he was talking so softly.
He was, but...
And Jimmy looked like death.
He looked pretty tired, didn't he?
He said he was sick. But I mean, his eyes were bloodshot and red, and he was white as a ghost.
Yeah, he didn't look so hot.
I hope he got some rest.
It was the weekend. You'd hope so. Well, anyways, they played with some outfit like normal. I can't honestly remember the name. But
wow, that's harsh.
I think it was Trav this week.
It was Terran Republic something.
Trav.
Something. TRAF. It's gonna come to me. Anyways. They interviewed Ryan Wells, the PlanetSide 2 producer, and I thought it was a really good interview.
It was the Terran Republic Assault Force.
There we go, yes. Sorry about that, Terran Republic Assault Force.
You better go play with them this week and ask for their forgiveness. They're on Watterson. You have no excuse.
Oh, that's right. I saw Imperial Reach tweeting about it. Anyways, it was a really good interview, but it sucked in terms of getting some new information about PlanetSide 2 as a game.
Not the Traff stuff.
This is the Ryan Wells interview.
I was going to say, you're just trashing Traff left and right on the show. You're such a jerk.
I really liked the interview, but it was more about PlanetSide 2 as a project than as a game, so you didn't really get many much inside information from him. But he takes care of tracking builds, signing game updates, planning a roadmap, and the longer-term picture for the game. And his big assignment, this is the first thing he actually mentioned, this is number one priority is ordering food for people who are working late. So,
hey, somebody's got to do it, right?
It was the first thing he thought of when he was describing his normal day. So, tells you these guys are working a lot, and he's ordering a lot of food, I guess. So, basically, it was just an agile development lesson. A lot of really good questions about agile development and how SOE uses it. That's all I want to say about that. And then he was asked what the hurdles of game production are, and he said everything, because production is the glue between keeping all the different teams together, and every time a team has a problem, they have to manage it with all the other teams and what gets released and whatnot. So, and then he also said that managing and estimating working with ideas that basically come from everyone, which includes fans all the way up to Higby, is he has to collect all these ideas, and then all the guys who do that with him kind of evaluate what they should do and what needs to get done first and what can kind of be put on the back burner for later on.
So like when a podcast co-host complains about VS semi-auto sniper rifles?
Yeah. That's like super high priority, apparently. No.
Super high priority.
It's like number one on the list.
Yeah.
So then...
The agile stuff that the guy broke down, that was pretty interesting. I mean,
yeah, totally.
I know that we know what agile is, and I'm not sure everybody else does. But can you break down for the listeners what agile is?
Do we really want to? It's not related to the game, really.
Well, I mean, it explains why that the patch updates come out at the speed they do, and why that.
That's true. So they do 2-week sprints where they basically do as much as they can in 2 weeks, and they put it all together and basically ship it, is the easiest layman's way I can say it. So basically, when you're a developer, you get a task and you're like, I can do this task in 2 weeks. And if you can't, you break it down into 2-week segments. And basically all the teams are doing everything in 2-week chunks. So even though something like Hassan, as the example he gave, is going to take a long time to make, when they're making it, they break everything down into 2-week chunks. And so a lot of these bug fixes and whatnot are a lot of tasks that they've, been able to do in the last 2 weeks, basically. And it gives them the ability to adapt and react quickly to bugs and in-game fan base demand. Basically, if the entire fan base is saying that battle rifles suck, that they'll make them better in 2 weeks, kind of sort of thing, potentially.
That was a good foundation, explanation of it. That's good.
Rapid development, and it helps you keep the game flowing while it's in production, which is basically what we're playing. It's in production, released game. So, yes. And then he said it's nice not having a game live because you can sit down and focus more and breaking things aren't as bad. So, but yeah, that was basically it. There's a lot of agile stuff. I mean, even what I said is minimal. What he talked about is really good stuff too, if you want to learn about it, but if you don't care about it and only want to hear about it, that's why I tried not to talk about it too much.
If you're a project manager or you're a developer, then maybe you be
yeah. So there was no special content this week. I'm sorry to say, nothing really surprising, and a crown. That's all.
And the crown. All right. The community question for last week. Thanks to Glock Elf, we put up the community question. What would your Sunder bumper sticker say? Before I go into them, we got to kind of out of all the things, this is what you guys chose. And yes, this is what we chose. I know there's plenty of serious stuff to talk about in the game, and there's plenty of time to be serious. There's some times you can have a little fun too, guys. I mean, it's a game. Relax.
Well, let's be honest. We got the most responses to this question than any other community question we've asked.
Yeah.
And there's good stuff in there, too.
Yeah. Well, let's go through a couple of them. Here are a couple of the good responses. If you can read this, you are too close and risk being shot. Oh, that's pretty good. Point Man said that. Ass Man. That's from Gutsum.
That was the best one, as far as I'm concerned. That's a Seinfeld reference for those that don't know.
Oh, God, now I get it. At first I was like, oh, that's so lame. And then you said Seinfeld, and I just totally remembered that whole episode.
See, I think some people were confusing it over a license plate and a bumper sticker, so.
Who cares? That's still.
Yeah, I know.
ETD had Space America. You can imagine what faction that is for. And
the TR, the oppressors.
Yeah, Fergref said Fergref's was play C4 here. That's
like
pretty
that
good.
One.
I think that's my favorite of these.
You seriously chose this one out of all of them? Really?
Just because of the guy who suggested it.
Dirty.
The next one was Honk If You're Horny, apparently, and that's from Dirty Bird. Thanks a lot for that one, Derringer, for picking that up. The squads and platoons only deal with it from Ranger Danvers. And then we have a couple of ours. Knox, why don't you start off?
My choice is Crown Happens.
I get the connotation. I get the joke. It's good. Derringer, you're next.
Mine would be Lost Your Cat? Try looking under my tires.
Does that apply to Knox? Is that why you wrote that there?
Totally does.
Mine was simple. It was this pain train's coming, baby. Woot woot. And, if you don't get the reference, kiss my balls. This week's question is: do you like or dislike the new headshot sound with Game Update 7? It sounds like somebody is just ka-chong, ka-chong.
Plunk.
And that's the question for this week. We'll post up all in the normal places. The next one is the ReachCast Community Clash. Let's get to it.
Prepare yourselves! This is the ReachCast Community Clash.
We had a good community clash this last week. Nothing overly exciting. Just normal stuff. But
we forgot something.
Go on.
I hate to bring us back to the community question of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to mention something that Edgy for Sure had said. He wants, in addition to having a good bumper sticker, the Sunderer's horn to become the ice cream truck melody.
I forgot about that, yeah.
And I wanted to make sure we give a shout out to Edgy for sure, because that is so full of win. I think I wrote, just think, you're defending a base, and all of a sudden, everyone turns to the right as they see a Sunday passing by playing this tune, and all run after it.
Can you imagine a big like ice cream cone as an accessory you could put on your Sunday and just drive by with
That's
that?
right where the AMS thing would be. You just pop
Yeah,
that
big old ice cream cone.
upside down ice cream cone on it or something. Huge, like 10 feet tall.
10-foot tall ice cream cone. It's like an anti-air turret, like
You
on
can
top
buy
or
the
something.
ice cream cone and the pink skin, the pink and white skin for $20. you know that would make money too.
Oh, I would buy that in a heartbeat. All right, so the
Sorry
community
to
client.
derail us, but I had completely forgotten about that and didn't want to let it go.
No, dude, that's good. I'm glad you went back to it. I
That's
forgot
good.
about that. So the dog tag I want to talk about this week coming up. Now at 9:30 CST, 10:30 EST, this coming week, we are going to give away a dog tag. Maybe even a set, depending on how many people show up. But we will be playing on the server Matherson. We'll be playing with Ghosts of the Revolution. Or
Hey.
I should say Derringer is. Derringer is playing with Ghosts of
Guess what?
Revolution.
I'll be able to make it this week.
Sweet. So you can play with them too. So they will be playing on Matherson with Ghosts of Revolution, and your objective as a listener, anybody that shows up to the stream, it's ReachCast, twitch.tv/ReachCast. Anybody that can find and kill Derringer starting at 9:30 CST, the first person to find and kill him, no matter where he is in the game, gets a dog tag. So if you want to win dog tags for the Empires, that's we'll probably do this weekly.
If you kill
Good luck.
me too.
Or if you kill Nox, or apparently, yeah, anybody. Kill people. Yeah. On to ReachCast University. This one was by request.
Jimmy, what are you doing in there?
I'm playing PlanetSide 2, Mom.
Are you decent?
Yeah, Mom. What do you want?
You got a letter from the school.
Well, let me see it.
Open it up.
Jeez, I am, Mom.
Well, what's it say?
It says...
Congratulations. You've been accepted into the ReachCast University.
Cool.
My baby is growing up.
Boom, boom,
Boom,
boom.
boom, boom. Bookadoo, bookadoo. I'm trying to find this email. I believe it was from Nitro?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah. I went back to try and find it because I was like, oh, I should say. But I think this looks like it. I know I said it, and this one's blue. No, that wasn't it. It's a different one. Maybe I didn't say it. Someone wanted it. Either way, whatever. Let's move on. Someone wanted Xbox controller integration. So I did some very quick research, and I'm not going to lie. I did it pretty quickly, but I think I found like a lot of really good stuff in this very short time that I did it in. So in the forums, got a few good responses from Bupa, whatever. I'm going to Torxify that name, and I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Torxify?
Torxify it.
Nice.
Bupa or whatever. He says, yes, it works. You need to install the drivers from the Microsoft website for the controller. Then you need to go to your in-game settings, and this is part of integrating it, is go to keybinds and then joystick. Left click, and then map out whatever you wanted the gamepad to do. He did say to note that the two triggers cannot be used together because it's considered as a Z-axis. So what this means is you cannot aim and shoot with the left and the right because when they are both pressed, they cancel each other out. So basically, you can't like zoom in with one and then shoot with the other. So those are the ones on the back of the controller, right? I don't really know Xbox very well, but he said triggers. So, yep, there's some important information. Then Orox on the forums also said he recommends using a program called, I guess, Joy2Key or XPadder for the 360 controller, and he said it worked a lot better than the in-game settings with the triggers and setting the D-pad for directional camera when flying. Another person, Velcro Pudding, had a XML configuration for mapping out for air using the Xbox controller. So if you want to take a look at that, I'll have the direct link to that post. And then most of the forum response was cellular controller by mouse, something to that extent. I also found a very interesting video, actually. It's 12 minutes, but this guy goes on to describe basically the pros and the cons of the controller, and it was basically all cons. There's nothing really good that he had to say about using the controller. Zorian the bear. And he said it kind of sort of works it, but mouse sensitivity drives the controller joysticks, so you have to deal with that. And then even when you increase the dead zone to the extreme max, the sensitivity is just, hairpin touches are moving it way further than you would expect it, basically. And so basically, here's his problem with the controller in PlanetSide 2, and what his big argument for why you shouldn't use it is, as pro as you might think you are, controller-based games rely on aim assist, which will help guide your crosshair to a target, but without being an aimbot. And PlanetSide 2 has absolutely zero aim assist. And when you don't have this, he said he's fine, he said, playing Call of Duty and stuff, but this game, and he showed playing, is not only is there no aim assist, but the sensitivities are so wonky that it's really hard to make those fine-tune adjustments that you need to make to stay on a moving target, like a guy strafe dancing you or a light assault hopping up in the air above you. It's just, when you move it, these hairpin nudges, it's just drastic. It's huge. But then when you want to make a 180-degree sweep, no matter how high your sensitivity is, it takes this really long time to sweep like 180 degrees to turn your character around, despite it being so overly sensitive on various small movements. So it's just not designed for a controller at all. He's compensating for recoils very hard. Then he said, even if you're using the controller, there's not enough buttons, and you still require a mouse and keyboard to play the game for things such as accepting squad invites, navigating the menu, and the whole map spawning and everything, basically, switching seats on vehicles and all that sort of great stuff. So it sounds like the overall consensus is, other than the mouse and keyboard is superior to the controller, is the game is just not designed to handle a controller input. And basically everyone else did say the mouse and keyboard is superior too. So, but if you want to do it, try it, see what you think. It doesn't sound like it's very intuitive or even useful at this point in the game's life, though. And don't expect them to add auto assist on aiming. It's just, I highly doubt that's going to happen.
I extremely doubt that would ever happen. I hope not, at least. Okay, you have any final tips for him, Knox?
No, that's basically
don't use
it.
the Xbox controller.
Yeah, I mean, so aim assist also helps bring you closer to it, but it also helps basically those small movements that you're making playing Call of Duty or Halo or something, because once you're on the target, those small movements, you have to make them. So it's not going to keep you on the target without touching the controller, but making the small movements not going to, he said you'll really notice it when you aim on a guy and you're on him and he moves and you try and stay on him without aim assist, it becomes extremely difficult. So he was very, very adamant about learning how to use a mouse and keyboard, as much as it's going to suck for a little bit.
Sounds like he had some good information, but we'll make sure to link that in the show notes if you guys want to check it out. On to the good, the bad, and the OP.
Have another drink on me, soldier.
Okay, thank you kindly.
If you can look hard enough past all the death and all the sorrow, there are good things. You must remember that we will overcome. The good, the bad, and the overpowered.
All right, I'm going to go first this week. My good was winning the Friday Night Alert on Helios as Vanu, and then immediately after we won that, dropping Purple Smoke, along with actually some of the TR and NC outfits, all said, let's go roll VS Tunes on Connery and give TRG and 666 a drubbing I guess is the best word for it, and we absolutely rolled the alert on Connery that night as well. It was actually a lot of fun. And I even saw tweets the next day saying there were a whole mess of Helios guys on Connery last night. So we were just kind of introducing ourselves to the larger outfits on Connery, saying we're coming for you. It was actually a lot of fun. My bad. I had to go back to work today. I was on vacation last week.
Oh, sounds like a pretty bad.
You poor man. All right,
Gotta pay the bills, right? You gotta be able to buy more station cash to buy more helmets in game. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a vicious cycle.
My good for the week is the PS boost we got out of Game Update 7. And my bad is that I'm assuming this probably goes along hand in hand with it. The hit detection latency, or I'll call it hit detection latency, I'm sure it has a more fancy term, was causing me nightmares right after Game Update 7. It's kind of leveled out a little bit, but I'm still having instances where I feel like I'm firing on somebody and it should be hitting them and they should be dying, but it's I don't know.
Maybe you just suck.
Well, it's very possible, I suppose.
Sorry, it was too easy.
No, you're fine. I have a hard time I have a hard time distinguishing when it's hitting and not hitting visually on them, like you would think. So I don't know. Maybe I'm totally crazy, but I feel like I'm having a problem with when I'm hitting people that's not registering them hitting them.
I had hit problems the first day I played, but after that, I didn't really notice any.
Yeah. Maybe I'm crazy.
I didn't notice any either. I was tearing through people like normal. But maybe that's because our VS weapons got huge buffs. I'm sniping people halfway across the map now. I can snipe people at the Crown from the VS Warp Gate now. With my SVA-88. It's amazing.
And my good for the week is the sound updates that they've done to Game Update 7, which I don't really remember seeing much talked about or mentioned, but not just the headshot kaplang, which I only really had happen twice, so I don't know what Danger's problem is. But
it happened to me about 100 times. Oh.
Or I just didn't notice. I feel like it only happened on the sniper rifles.
Yeah, yeah. It's just from getting sniped.
Yeah, so you just stand still too long. That's all it is.
It's not just sniping. Get that sound. No.
But the sounds that I really liked it on is I went into a building and it was just like really echoey and metal sounding. And when I went out of the building, it was back to normal and it was way more immersive. And I thought it was awesome. It sounded really cool.
When you say metal, I mean, what are we talking about? Like,
well, the buildings are metal, so you kind of hear like, job for cowboy metal. All right, no, but when you go in, it sounds like you're in this metal box. It's really cool. I really like it. And my bad is I busted my back at the gym doing deadlifts, and it hurts. I spent all Saturday and all Sunday on my bedroom floor watching Netflix. We'll put it this way. I made it through the entirety of Trigun in 2 days. Because that's all I could do. It hurt so bad. So
Thou does not hoist.
I wasn't doing an excessive amount, but it was enough to hurt myself.
Enough to screw up your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are you showing off for at the gym? That's what I want to know.
All the super hot babes, of course.
Come look at my big legs. Oh, I just broke my back. Oh. All right. On to ReachCast mailbag.
Oh, it's a perfect morning. Great timing, the mailman's just coming.
Morning. Where's the mail? Big bag, a big bag.
He must be ready to get away. Very strange. What's the sticking sound? Going to take a look here in this bag of mail. Oh no!
Now you just open the ReachCast mail bag.
Alrighty. We're starting off with our one and only call for the week. Here we go.
Hi, this is the Texas Super Duper Pizza Emporium, right? I hope I have the right number. Could I get 2 large, extra large meat lovers super duper large stuffed crust, and 1 order of the supreme thin crust. And could I also get 2 orders of the wings, 1 hot, 1 mild dry with ranch on the side, and an order of your garlic bread twisters. Thanks. I guess I'll just pick it up. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Cool. Thanks, guys.
He never said who he was.
No, he never did.
Who was that mystery caller?
It was Clegg.
I know.
Poor Clegg had a 4-hour layover in Phoenix. Did he say Phoenix?
Some city.
Yeah, layover, but that's a weapon designer on the PS2 dev team. If you don't know him, it's Adam Clegg. He's a good guy. That takes us on to our emails. I think you're starting our emails out for the week, Derringer.
Oh, am I really?
Mm-hmm.
That can't be true.
Oh, it's an iTunes review, but it's emails and iTunes review. I think we got 2 iTunes reviews this week. We don't normally get many, so I went ahead and put them in.
All right, sounds like a plan. First one was from Mickey R, and he says I'm assuming that's Lieutenant Ben from TR on Helios server, also active on Briggs. It's a great podcast produced by 3 funny, mature, and insightful players. The content is excellent. The audio first rate. You guys have talent. Well, I don't, but that's okay. I have subscribed and back-catching the episodes made before I found the podcast. I agree with the comments that Vanu are alien-loving crybabies made by 2 of the hosts. LOL. All right. Now I know why I got to read this one.
That was by chance. There was nothing else to that. The next one we had.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Ben.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Actually, you know what? I talked to him the other night. Kind of didn't know who he was, and I jumped on playing with Outfit X. I was talking about earlier in the show, and he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Are you?" And it was him. So apparently he's playing with Outfit X now too. That's cool. I like to meet people that listen to the show. The next one we had an iTunes review from was Mustard.
Mustard.
Yeah, I can't get the R. I can't roll that R very well. He says, big shout out to the hosts of ReachCast. This is the podcast to listen to each week for updates on PlanetSide 2. They are consistent, entertaining, informative, and creative. There is a great dynamic between the hosts, and in addition to weekly shows, they have interviews with various developers, outfit leaders, personalities within the PS2 universe, etc. Keep it up, guys. So thank you, Mustard. I can't. You started.
Mustard.
Oh my goodness.
Really gotta roll that.
I'm not reading the next one, thank God.
Yeah, Moochaka Man. I don't think I even said that right, but he said, "You guys just killed me. I finally got around to catching up the podcast and had even forgot that I mailed in. When my name suddenly popped into my ears, I wobbled on my ladder and nearly fell off entirely when Torx utterly and repeatedly borked my name up. Brilliant. And we made his day, keep him coming, and he now has a Lou. So that's cool. He's the dude in France, right?
Yeah, he's redoing some ruins in France.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I remember that email when we got that a while back. He's an interesting guy.
And if anybody who's listening doesn't know, a loo is actually a toilet.
Oh no. Why'd you tell everyone?
Well, some people might be wondering what a loo is.
Yeah, it's a toilet.
It's a toilet, yeah. And Clegg is in Portland, by the way. Well, he's not anymore, but that's where he was. 4-hour layover Portland. I can see why he called us with nothing else to do. All right, our next email was from Solex. And he says, so I told Torx while he was playing with us, but I figured I would make this email anyway. What is your, in parentheses, ReachCast, thoughts on air balance, air to ground, air to air, and ground to air? Also, thanks for doing the show. Too bad Torx probably won't be able to mess up my name. Well, Solex, don't worry.
Don't be surprised.
There's still a chance at the end of the show for him to mess up your name.
Yeah, luckily I like the people with simple names. There's some of these people making some crazy names. This next guy's name I like, but it's not really that difficult. It's Monk One Junk One. I don't know.
You're gonna answer his question, dude?
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just for that, you've got to answer his question now. Air to air, and ground to air. What are your thoughts on a balance?
Thoughts on air balance, huh? I think the air-to-ground explosive radius is in a good spot right now. I don't think it really needs to be tweaked that much. Air-to-air, people don't use air-to-air rockets really much anymore. The air-to-air guns are pretty well balanced, so I don't really have a problem with them. And ground-to-air, well, I almost am in the side of the field that says that we almost have a little bit too much anti-air now. But at the same time, the second I say that, I've run into situations where we can completely just pulverized by air with not enough anti-air available. So, I don't have any.
Have not run into that situation.
We've run into a couple times. I personally have run into a couple times lately. So I don't know. I guess it's ESFs in general. I mean, he's saying general air balance, so I guess we can bring libs into this, but ESFs and gunships feel fine to me right now. I'm sure there's small things they could change, but I think they're generally in the right place. You guys have anything to add to that?
I think that the air is fine. I kind of wish the tanks hadn't gotten nerfed and air got a little more of a buff, like a Dalton got a lower explosive radius but higher damage output. But I don't think air, like anything air to air, air to ground, air, I think those don't have problems. Ground to air, I think, is too good.
I don't know that ground to air is too good, but I think that you're seeing a lot more ground to air, and that might be the issue. Now that they've really buffed the experience you get for doing ground to air, I find that a lot more people are doing it.
Right, but that goes along with what I was saying a while ago, where I thought ground to air was fine before, and then they buffed it because no one was using it. It wasn't that it wasn't good enough, it was just no one was using it because there was no reason to use it, and now it's good, and there's reason to use it because you get more XP. The gunships blowing up, like, the periodic damage you get's great. They made all the ships worth a lot more XP, and there's reason to be anti-air now, whereas before there really wasn't. So, I think that ground to air is too strong.
I like it, so whatever.
Alright, the next email is from Monk1Junk1. Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm intrigued by the name. He said, "Hey there, guys. First off, I love the show. I've been a long-time fan listening from episode 1. That's cool. I don't know how many people have done that.
I've done it.
I'm glad. No other PlanetSide 2 podcast has standards like yours. You're truly the best. Thank you. Now to business. For a long time, I ran PlanetSide 2 on high graphics. I always felt like it wasn't quite enough, and eventually Googled how to enable ultra graphics. Whilst whilst they are amazing, I have been having a problem. Every now and again, mostly
Problemo, fool.
Yeah, problemo.
Oh, sorry. Every now and again, mostly when lots of explosions happen at once, my game crashes. No signs on that's about to happen, just boom, crashes. Even rarer, I simply get really low frame rates, terrain tearing, or the game freezes entirely, and then it crashes. So, they're basically, in short, he goes on to explain the specs of the system. His system is definitely fine.
He has almost the exact same computer as me.
He's running a graphics card a little bit higher than yours, but that's one model. I mean, it's one model higher. It's not even the GTX 670. But
it's funny you say graphics card because the issues that he's having makes me think it might be the graphics card. If you're getting tearing in the game, I doubt it's your CPU. How hot is your graphics card getting? Is your graphics card seated properly? You might want to just check a couple of those things.
Yeah, if you're not... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Knox. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was going to say I have one step lower, but really, if you go into the deep dive of specs, they're pretty much equivalent in terms of specs that really matter. It surprises me that he's having problems with that. I would suspect graphics card too, just like Derringer said.
Yeah, I would run, if you don't already have it, it's a separate utility from NVIDIA, Monk1Junk1, but it's called NVIDIA System Monitor. It give you, if you don't already run a temperature detection for your GPU, which you should probably anyways if you're pushing it, check that, see what kind of temperature fluctuations you're getting during those high load times, and then check what normal load temperatures should be, And if nothing else, I've had friends that have similar problems to what you've had on other games, and it in the end was a GPU issue. So
yeah, me too. I back when I was playing WoW on a lower end system on my one, well, I had an NVIDIA card in there, and I was experiencing a lot of the same stuff as you, and it was all the tearing, and it basically is because my video card was failing, and I ended up having to just go out and buy a new one.
I wonder what manufacturer is using, because I used to be kind of, I'll just get the cheapest one. But there's a reason why a certain company called BFG Tech does not exist anymore, and that's because their cards broke all the time. Those cards wouldn't last more than a year. So...
Well, he says his rig is only not even 6 months old, so...
Well, yeah, but I'm just, like, your manufacturer, if you got, like, the Cheapo Depot one, you might have some issues. That could be why.
Well, you'd have to look. I guess he may either have built it or it may have been a pre-built rig.
Drivers, though. Get drivers if you haven't.
Yeah, double check your drivers. Like I said, it could be as simple as it's not seated properly. You'd be surprised. It happens with RAM all the time, so it definitely happens with vid cards occasionally as well. Couldn't hurt to take 2 seconds to pop it out and pop it back in, and then, like Torque said, get that temperature monitor going, because that's my fear, is that your graphics card's getting too hot and it's starting to fail.
And that's a manufacturer thing.
Yeah.
Well, it is, unless go on the next email.
6 months old, maybe it's still under warranty as well. So
we had another email from Lieutenant Ben. Man.
No, the first one was an iTunes review.
Same difference.
Well, we happen to be doubling up this week, but I guarantee you won't be doubling up from him next week. So
let's just skip to what he's looking for. He's looking for what server we play on with the Terran Republic, or what outfits we guys play TR with. So.
Terran Republic play with Imperial Reach on Waterson. Otherwise, it's all kind of the same content as the iTunes reviews. So yeah, thanks, Ben.
The same here. I think we all play with Imperial Reach on Waterson, Lieutenant Ben. As far as the other factions, we rotate around different servers. So just find us pretty much anywhere. You want to look us up. You can add my in-game. I don't know if I've ever even listed it before, but it's what you would imagine. It's TRKZ for my TR guy. For my NC guy, it's TRXZ. If you guys want to give yours, feel free.
I have like 6 characters, dude. I can't even keep them all straight.
Okay, well, those are my 2 mains.
You know what, though? He brings up something that I realized, though. I don't think that we play on any EU servers, do we?
No, I don't have any characters on the EU server, no. No, I have nothing against adding one. I do have an extra slot.
So either, because I'm not playing with that sort of latency.
Well, you don't know until you try.
I might. I have an extra slot. I might make one on the EU server and see what kind of stuff I can get from it.
I'll just delete my Derringer character. I want to re-roll him as VS, anyways.
Okay. Go on the next one.
Next up, we have a email from the Ninja Jedi. Hey guys, it's the Ninja Jedi again. Wondering if you guys thought Max Charge will be removed, because I like using it to dodge missiles and other bad stuff. And he just wants our opinion on that. Knox, you want to take this one?
I don't think it will be. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I don't see it being removed. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, neither do I.
Don't see it happening. The last email is from Awesome XGT. He says, tisk tisk torques. Haha, it was for last show.
You forgot one
week.
ha there. There were 3 ha's.
Ha 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 ha. It was for last week's show. Oh well, don't worry about it. I forgive you and still love you. Kind of like a disappointed mother still loves her misbehaving son. Really. Keep the good work going. Cheers, guys. I think he was talking about the suggestion about
my suggestion. He's talking about my suggestion.
I think he was talking about his suggestion about content bonuses that Derringer blatantly ripped off during the show. So yeah, and we did pass that along. I don't think we can really talk about much more than that because we haven't been approved to.
We're under the ReachCast NDA.
The ReachCast NDA.
Stuff that happens on ReachCast, we don't discuss it. I'm sorry.
I guess it's as good time as any just to go over that real quick. We're all members of the, Sony Community Council. So we pass that along to the community managers, and they pass it along but I don't think we can really say much other than that. So, but yeah, I think it was a great suggestion, man.
Yes, it was a great suggestion by me.
Good work giving it to Derringer and him ripping you off.
He did not give it to me. I never read the email. It's as much my suggestion as it's his suggestion. And you know what? If we could troll through the forums, I'm sure we can find somebody mentioned it 6 months ago.
Thank you for being the original person that came up with this idea. Awesome. And thank you for inspiring everyone else. The thank yous for the week. T-Star 420, Ranger Danvers, Brody QC, Stompeth.
Oh, that's a drink.
There's no T.
Oh, there is no T there. Yeah, my bad.
Stompa.
Yeah, Chokey 305.
I think it's Chalky.
Chalky, Chokey.
Another drink.
Beston, that's opinion, dude. Beston.
No, Choki, it would have a C-O-K-E, not C-O-C-K-I.
Correct. Dude, really, we're going to argue Avatar names like it has to be phonetically correct, yeah. So, Edgy for sure, Respire, Canaris, Hiroshi Chugi, Code in Black, Celerox, Point Man, Ghost 9, Falcon BR, got some ETD for Gref, that goat guy.
Great name.
Rat, Neural Calypso. No, I got that right. How is that wrong?
Neutral.
Oh, neutral. My bad. I said neural. Ill-tempered, Dirty Bird. Thanks a lot for putting his comment in, by the way, earlier. The Solex, Hydro Iron, Evil Green Devil, Mordicant, and Boyos.
You almost said Green Eyed Devil.
I did because I was thinking
that one guy back in the day.
the TR guy. All right,
character.
Contact info, Nux?
Contact information. All right, our website is reachcastshow.com. That's easy. twitch.tv/reachcast. Another easy one. Email us at reachcastshow@gmail.com. Also simple. As you can see, we get lots of emails and we like them.
reachcastshow.com.
What?
Nothing, go ahead.
reachcastshow@gmail.com. I already gave the website. You can call us at 415-78-REACH, or that is 415-787-3224. And our show Twitter is at ReachCastShow. My Twitter is Noxia, Noxxia.
Mine is ReachCast Torx.
And mine is The Derringer.
As always, at the end of the show, we give a thank you to the rest of the ReachCast crew. And I want to say a quick thank you to Steve, Cliff, John, Jenny Boo, and Hamma. That's it for this week's show.
Jenny Boo and Hamma are not in the ReachCast crew, but they are AGN.
Yeah, but we don't mention them earlier on. But we don't really mention who's in affiliation for AGN, so they're part of the crew.
I do. Speaking of them, I do think that they announced that their next AGN is going to be on May 4th.
Saturday, yeah.
Yes, and it's going to be an afternoon show this time around, so all you crazy Europeans can get in on the action. Stay tuned to PSU for more info.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any other final things. I think that's it.
I think you're just going to talk about how great I was, and then we're going to end the show.
Darren.
All right, so that's in the show.
Is an awesome man. He loves to shoot people with his lasher, and he
you gonna make a haiku out of this?
Sexy.
Yes, for next show, Knox, I would like a Derringer's awesome haiku.
Derringer's awesome haiku. What is it? 575 or something like that?
Yes, you can do it.
As always, thanks everybody for listening. Have a good week. Derringer steals and takes credit for everybody else's work. Goodbye.
Later.
See ya.
Oh, yeah.
I am great, though. I mean, come on. People really come to the show just to listen to me. I mean, you guys are just filler.
I hope you're recording all this still.
Oh, yeah. I didn't stop.
I hope that makes it into the show.
That's right, Sergeant. You made the call. All right, soldiers. You've done a great job here today. Let's get our stuff and get the hell out of here.